Hello, dear friends. We are happy to welcome you to the international discussion dedicated to the International All Peoples Forum Global Crisis. We are people, we want to live. This is an event that has the potential to change the course of history for our planet. Whether or not this event has a powerful resonance in society is up to us only. We should not let the wave that has created through the forum fade away. That is why today, in our international online discussion, together with our respected speakers, we will continue to uncover the topics raised during the forum, as well as sharing our impression of this significant event.
Yes, International Online Forum Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, is the large-scale and unprecedented event organized by volunteers from 180 countries. Thanks to their selfless and professional action of a team of interpreters, this life-saving information is available right now in 100 languages worldwide. And our international team of technical support did everything possible and sometimes even impossible to broadcast live on tens of thousands of social and media channels worldwide. And do you know that such a result is simply unreachable to any commercial or governmental organization? However, it is certainly possible for people who are united by the goal of building the creative society, since their actions are not aimed at their own benefits and selfishness, but focused at the welfare of all humanity, at creating a social society where everyone can live happily. And I'm so honored today to introduce you to our guest. Today with us, we have Olga Protsenko, civil engineer from Belgium. Welcome, Olga. We also have, hello. We also have Irina Suhanova, economist from Latvia. Welcome, Irina. We have Michael Artur, international trade lawyer from Tanzania. Welcome, Michael. Happy to have you here. And I'm honored to introduce you to Manoj Gurani, social and human rights activist, anti-trafficking specialist from India. Welcome, Manoj.
Great. Thank you, Marina, and all of the guests with us today. Before we start this discussion, let's first watch a short video about the forums. Once again, global crisis. We are people and we want to live.
Humanity's last war is already underway. The enemy is destroying everyone in its path.
At first, I thought it was a bomb explosion.
It's scary. It's very scary.
Honestly thought that I was going to die.
What was happening was like a nightmare. Everything was destroyed.
I couldn't stand to see the corpse of a mother hugging her burnt child.
My heart is breaking with pain.
Our enemy is climate.
Everything was destroyed.
There was no warning, no advice, nothing.
When I went out, I saw something that looked like a tsunami. My father died right under our rubbled house. If only I could have helped him. I thought my family and I would die because the wind and the rain were unbelievably strong.
I'm looking for my wife and I need her.
I want to be strong, but I can't hold back my tears.
When we realized that the water had invaded the house, we only had time to get people out of the house.
There was no time to grab anything, and I lost everything.
And these are just its first attacks. It won't agree on humanitarian corridors. It won't sign a peace agreement. It doesn't need time to regroup. And it won't run out of missiles. With each new attack, the enemy only gets stronger. What can we oppose against this enemy? Can we, humans, survive this war? If meanwhile, instead of carrying out planetary mobilization and creating a united front, we are killing each other.
I don't want to die. I want it all to be over as soon as possible. Suddenly the windows started shaking, and with the second one, everything exploded. They were actually burned alive.
The second bomb dropped.
We're killing the planet that is our only home. We are investing billions of dollars in pseudoscience and the business of a few. Instead of providing for life to billions, we are being artificially divided. We've been inculcated with hatred for one another, and all for the power of a few over the billions over us. But before the climate, everyone is equal. Everyone will lie in one mass grave unless we rally our strength today and stand united against the common enemy. Yes, it's hard, but we must do so if we want to survive. For we are people. We want to live.
Many people have already watched this forum, but there's many more who haven't. How would you describe this forum, and why do you think it should be watched by everyone? Olga, could you please share your thoughts and feedback on this amazing event? What impressed you the most? Why is it so important to reach such topics? What makes it so important to speak up and not to be silent about the information that was presented during the forum? Olga?
Здравствуйте, я смотрела форум все 12 часов в прямом эфире.
Greetings. I was watching the forum all 12 hours live, and I believe that the information voiced in those 12 hours is simply vital for every person on our planet. We are being artificially divided.
Нам не показывают правду.
We are not being shown the truth. We are just, being divided and led to the slaughter like a herd of sheep. And this is at the time when, as already was voiced right now in the video and at the forum, a true enemy is coming to our planet. A real full-scale war is starting. And this war is not the one which we ourselves can start and can end, but it's a war with the climate that has no soul, that has has guts to press the button to launch any of its missiles, and to which we have absolutely nothing to oppose. This is at a time when we as a society are totally divided, fragmented, when whichever way we look, we see a dead end. Listening to the information at the forum was sometimes very tough, very difficult. It's really hard, but at the same time, it's the kind of information that does not paralyze, but it actually motivates. Because not a single normal person, having heard what is going on the world right now, really cannot remain indifferent and stay sitting on the sofa doing nothing, because each of us really wants to live. Each of us wants our families to be safe, our children to be alive. And if we keep doing nothing, this world is just going to end. That's why I think that, yes, the situation is right now very difficult. Yes, we are living in a horrible world right now, but what is inspiring is that there is a way out of all this. And this way out was also voiced at the forum. To each of this problem, we actually voiced the way out. And it is inspiring that many people around the world have already started to act so that we all have a chance to survive. If someone thinks that what I can do alone, this is actually the moment when every person, by making literally small little steps, each person can simply save the world and can actually do a lot. It's very important. This is vital information about what is happening in the world and what the way out is, that it really reaches every person on the planet. And this is only possible through active participation of really all people.
Thank you very much, Olga. I absolutely agree with you that it was very painful, and sometimes it's like very, very painful, almost on the border that you cannot tolerate this pain anymore to listen this information. But that's a truth. That's a very painful, but it is truth. And without knowing, without understanding what happened in the world right now, we will have no future, because, as you said, everything depends on our action right now. Every single person should get to know that forum, because by understanding what's happening, you will start to act. And I also agree with you that what you also saw on the forum, that there is a way out. There is a solution for all of our problem. And it's very happy to see, I'm very happy to see that every day so many people join the Creative Society project, because they understand that's the only way out for all of us. Thank you so much for emphasizing this one more time for us. And I also would like to ask Manoj. Manoj, could you please share your thoughts and feedbacks on this amazing event?
Yeah. My experience is very good, and that I feel that this is a good initiative to reach out to the world, because the world is facing the problems everywhere. Even a country can't say that they are not facing the problems. And when I joined the Creative Society, so a thought in my mind that why these people are creating such event, and what will be benefit to the people of this event. But after that, this watching videos and people voice, people's interviews, and expert specialists also raise their voice. So I feel this is a good initiative. It is creating a platform where people can gather, raise their voice. The last time I heard someone that he explained me about a voice can become many voices. So I thank you each and every volunteer who are committed for this project, for this event. Such I express so much gratitude to them. Without any interest, without any benefit, they committed to success this event. And I'm sure this event will bring a huge impact in coming days, in coming months. So that's all.
Thank you very much for your answer. And you're right. This event was about many different topics that are concerning all of us, and it's very important that they are voiced, because not all of those topics are maybe voiced, let's say, in mainstream media, for instance, in details and as much as it was into this forum. But having the information about those topics is vital for everybody to really comprehend the situation in which we are, and as Marina said, start to act. So thank you very much for your feedback on this one. Let's continue and asking the same question. Irina, maybe can you share with us your view on these events? Maybe what is the topics that touch you the most all of this forum?
Спасибо большое за этот вопрос. И действительно, весь форум, он очень...
Thank you very much for this question. Indeed, the entire forum is very strong and powerful. The information that was voiced on almost all of the topics was shocking.
Скажем так, это беженцы.
And the topic of refugees was closest to me, because once I myself went through this experience, and I do realize what these people are going through. I understand these people, and I fully share this pain and the horrible situation in which they are now. I perfectly understand them. And I'm very grateful that this topic was so widely covered on the forum.
Было показано, в каких условиях на самом деле сейчас находятся беженцы, потому что...
And it was shown in what conditions the refugees are actually in now, because it is monstrous, because in our modern society, having such amazing technologies and every opportunity to solve these problems for poor, unfortunate people who are absolutely not to blame for being in this situation.
Для них не делается ничего.
Nothing is actually done for them.
Потому что
Not only that, they are also made profit from. It is simply monstrous. It has no justification at all.
Эта тема, она многофакторная.
Moreover, this topic is multifactorial. It goes beyond one topic. It was also shown at the forum that there is a huge number of charitable foundations that are now doing who knows what. They're absorbing huge budgets. Billions of dollars are falling into their hands, and they are claiming that they are helping people who are in need, that they are helping refugees. But when we dig deeper and see how they help, what they do, it's just shocking. It's really a shock, because I don't understand how you can help a person who needs normal housing, normal conditions, just proudly declaring that we offer tents, some tarpaulin mats, or some other nonsense, sorry, but there is no other way to call it. And that is not enough for a person, no matter where he is, no matter what climate it is, hot or cold. All these miserable people get is some basic food and a tarpaulin tent in freezing temperatures. And that's just tearing up inside. Because you realize what our future is. If we don't change anything, we all, alive people on the planet now, will risk being refugees. That's our perspective. It doesn't matter where you are now. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what country, rich, developed, or developing. It doesn't matter at all. And the events in Kentucky that were shown at the forum show that. In a developing country, which everybody looks up to, a catastrophic monstrous situation happens, and people there become defenseless in exactly the same way. And this is a very important topic that shows that, friends, we are not protected from this. And we all have the prospect of being refugees in the near future. And they understand how scary that is, because you are not protected by anything. Nobody needs you, and all you can count on is probably the same people who themselves have limited functionality,
скажем так, ограниченным функционалом, да, то есть
limited
помощью. И нам стоит задуматься об этом уже сейчас.
We should be thinking about it now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Irina. Thank you again, because we really need to think about, we need to clearly understand our circumstances right now, and we need to understand that climate doesn't care about your social status, about the country where you live. Doesn't matter. When climate disaster strikes, it will not ask for your passport, your nationalities, your political or religious belief. It doesn't matter. We all will disappear if we will not act right now. Michael, I would like to ask you the question. What makes it so important to speak up and not be silent about the information that was presented on this forum?
Hello. Actually, it's very heartbreaking, considering to the fact that still people need to watch, people need to understand the effects of climate change. Sometimes I think a lot of people are unaware of, not, I won't say ignorant, but a lot of people, they are unaware of the effects of the climate change. They don't know that it's hard to understand or to interpret or to comprehend what you are about to face in the future. So I think that Creative Society is it's a good initiative which can be able to help and eradicate the global warming and the outcome or the aftermath of climate change. Because we may not see the effects right now, but in 10 years, 20 years to come, it will really be a disaster to the world. And we all want to live. We all want to feel loved with our beloved ones. So we cannot live or be loved if the climate will be able to the drastic of climate. So I just think it's very important that the awareness on this video should be addressed and put forward for the public to watch and to understand that if actions are not taken seriously and if we not create these policies to protect our climate, it's one way or the other will affect the world. Not only, it doesn't look whether you're rich, as I said, it doesn't look whether you own what, it doesn't mean the net worth of your family, no. It will fly, it will flash, it will take everything possible. So thank you for the question.
And thank you, Michael, for your answer. And you're very right when you say that those catastrophes are coming, and there is more and more, and we don't maybe see it fully at the moment, but definitely the further we go, the more we're going to see catastrophes. One thing that I was very raised into this forum that actually kind of shocked in a way that we see a lot of interviews of people saying that they never seen those kind of catastrophe in the area where they were. Either it's a tornado, either it's a flood, either it's any type of cataclysm that were not there before. I think a lot of people might think, oh, my grandfather already saw this kind of thing, so it's normal. It's unfortunate, it happens sometimes, but it's just the way it is. But it's not the case. When more and more elderly people for 60, 70 can say they never see that before, it really shows that something is going on and that it's accelerating. So we definitely need to do something right now to be able to solve that issue.
Yeah, exactly. Jonathan, sorry, can I interrupt?
Yes.
I would like to, speaking of something, yeah, it's possible. A lot of people haven't watched the video because when Natasha sent me the video through my Twitter account, and I was looking through I showed it to one of my friends, one of my colleagues in school. And funny enough, he said, like, what is happening? Where is this? Where did it happen? So I think it's very important it's very important to raise the awareness and also to put out the video in public for people to watch and to see that if precautions are not taken seriously, it means that basically there will be no world. There will be no one to live in. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for adding on this answer. Indeed, there will be no world to live in if we don't do anything like that. So very important to share this information to all. And you're an example of this. So thank you very much for that. Moving on to another question regarding the forum. And this question will be to Olga. You took part in the climatic cataclysm monitoring department to really understand and record all of the cataclysm, to be able to really see the scale of those cataclysms for the last months. So could you tell us how severe the cataclysms are now and what our preparedness is for them? What happened to the people who survived them?
Yes, indeed. Our team of volunteers was monitoring climate disasters, still preparing for the conference that took place on the 4th of December, Global Crisis, Time for the Truth. These dynamics of cataclysms, it increased already at that time, and it was shocking, but this was just the beginning, because when I joined directly the team that monitors these events, not even a week after the conference of December 4th has passed, and I was really shocked how many disastrous and deadly events in 1 week, just 1 week, took place, and how much more severe was the climate compared to previous months. Not a day was gone by without catastrophe during the monitoring climate events these five months. And what is most frightening is that the real picture of what's going on is not reflected anywhere. It is not monitored anywhere. In other words, our volunteers use various platforms to collect data in order to gather just this information together and be able to analyze it to what extent the cataclysms have actually intensified. But as you also noticed now, that each of the events which occurred since December, during the last forum day, when we monitored, each of these events has been characterized as abnormal, as historic. That has never happened in this region before. And this actually indicates how cataclysms, natural disasters are not just unpredictable for us, we are not prepared for them, and we don't study them at the proper level. We don't have any season without of fires. Totally. After severe floods, there are disastrous fires that are actually impossible to put out, and it shows that these fires are not associated with global warming. They are related to processes that take place within the planet, and we can clearly see that already. We don't have typhoon seasons anymore. They happen all year round. And basically, typhoons, as scientists, they cannot predict them right now. Our science doesn't allow to do that. We as society, we don't even acknowledge this, and we don't move forward. Meanwhile, every typhoon means thousands of destroyed houses and countless lives which we lose. And people cannot even be warned. If we take, for instance, the typhoon that happened in December in the Philippines, people were warned of the category 2 typhoon. But at the night, when they had already no communication, the category was upgraded, but people just couldn't get this message, and they couldn't find hide themselves where, although they could do this if they received information in advance. We don't have tornado seasons anymore either. They are unseasonal, all the unseasonal months, which are not usual for tornadoes. Actually, all those tornadoes broke all the records for their intensity and the number of tornadoes. This is really frightening because it shows our unpreparedness needed to predict natural disasters in any way or to evacuate people to deal with it all. What was actually voiced is the reason why it is so important for every person to watch the forum. In order to solve any problem, we need to study it first. And now the main problem, which is the climate, and it can soon actually kill us all. It is not being studied, and this problem is not voiced, so that people do not panic. But if we want to live, we must face the truth. We have to get some real acts can solve this problem instead of being busy designing some new sneakers or phones. We don't need those stuff and those things, items anymore. When we have a flood, we won't care what sneakers we wear. But we do need technology that can help us resist the power of nature. And we can do this if we direct our scientific potential, entire scientific potential, on studying this issue. If all the best minds of our world will be studying this problem. And also what the forum has shown is that most people believe that they will be warned that either the government or some volunteer organizations will take care of all of us. But with the scale, what is oncoming, of the scale of those disasters, not a single country or not a single organization separately can cope with such a problem. We can cope with it only if we build a society all together, which will support each other from various sides, where we have instantaneous access to resources for everything, and we will solve only the problems that we really need to solve. And the forum has shown that there is all scope of these problems, and it destroyed all illusions regarding funds, foundations, as Irina has pointed out. And all other illusions have also been ruined, but the forum has also shown a way out, that indeed, if we unite and build the creative society where all resources are available and they're transparent, and we will be able to join our scientific potential, we will behave as human beings, then we will survive. Then we'll have a chance. Otherwise, there will be nothing. And also what's very important, and it was announced at the forum, that the power of cataclysms is increasing day by day. In other words, what we have tracked over the last 5 months, this is the situation of those 5 months. Right now, there will be new cataclysms, even stronger, even more powerful, more synchronous. And again, we have nothing to stop them with or counteract the enemy. Nothing to do so far. Thank you.
Yes, Olga, you're absolutely right. We need to unite all our scientific potential in order to create new technology. But here we're facing a problem right now. Our current society does not support development of such a technology. We support everything. We support weapons, we support human trafficking, we support any types of things that make us profit, bring us profit, but we're not support something that can save our life, and I mean life of every single person, and that's the problem. And at the same time, that's one of our solution. We need to change this format in order to survive. And the first thing that facing people in the region where the disaster strikes is the problem with that their place where they live is not suitable for living anymore, and they need to move, they need to go somewhere else. And right now we have so many people, millions of people who already, we can call them climatic refugees. And where every day we will see that we will have more and more people getting this status. And like in our current society is that status, it's like a sentence, death sentence, unfortunately. This is a refugee is the person without rights, without protection, and without means of livelihood. Have you ever thought, what does it feel to become a refugee? It's a terrible condition that people face. And I have a question to Irina. Could you please tell us what refugees go through, and do we have any solution to this problem?
Да, я уже ранее начала озвучивать эту проблему беженцев.
Yes, I already started to voice this problem earlier, the problem of refugees, and I can, shall we say, expand on it, because as I voiced earlier, turbulent tents and mats and and even the refugee camps, that's not all, shall we say, what refugees face on their, shall we say, on their journey when they follow from their when they leave their home.
Они прорываются в страну, где,
for example, even if they get lucky and break through a country which is ready to take them in, again, in that country they get superficial minimum help, and then they find themselves alone with their problem. And there are a lot of problems. It is an unfamiliar language, unfamiliar culture in general, just a new country in which they find themselves. And this becomes a shock for them. And not everyone can assimilate in that country. Not everyone can, shall we say, accept the new rules. And they realize that in fact they are not needed. They are like a burden. They are like a second-rate people who they were accepted just because, well, the government just decided, allocated some kind of quota on the number of people, and you feel like a second-class person just because you had to leave that beautiful place where there is either a climate disaster or military conflicts or some kind and so on. And right now, and I said again earlier that refugees, they become easy prey for human traffickers. It's a disaster that's happening right now that's being completely silenced, not publicized at all. Why is it not publicized? Because it is profitable, because a lot of money is made on it. And as it was said in the forum, excuse me, man is the most profitable commodity. Imagine when if something, I do not know, oil, gold and so on, can be sold once, and a person can be sold dozens of times.
Что происходит с людьми, когда продают и детей, и это страшно.
What happens to people when children are sold? And this is terrible, when people are sold for their organs. Well, it's just unthinkable. And really, I strongly suggest and ask, I urge, please watch the forum. Those who are watching this conversation of ours now, because it really reveals the whole problem. The pictures that is actually presented, and it is the truth. It is the painful truth. But what does it give us when we understand the situation we are in right now? it gives us an understanding of what the solution might be. And unfortunately, I can say that at that moment, there is no such solution in the consumerist format of society, because the consumerist format is aimed to divide people and make just a product out of them. That is to say, the consumerist format of society does not value human life at all. But you asked the question, what prospects are there and how can this problem be solved? And I'm very happy to tell you that there is a solution. Indeed, it's beautiful, but it is only in the creative society, only in changing the format of society. If I may expand on this a little bit, because it is really very inspiring. When every person who hears this now will realize that we, every one of us, can avoid these problems, can escape this fate and live normally. And why did I say that it is in the creative society only changing format of society from a consumer society to a creative society is it possible to solve this problem? Because the creative society is a human-centered society. It is based on the 8 foundations of the creative society. And the first and most basic foundation of the creative society is the value of human life, which states that the life of each human, of anyone, absolutely no matter who or where he is, it is valuable. And if the life of one human is valuable, then all people are valuable. What does that give us? It gives us a definition of human status. You see, in the creative society, there will be no such thing as a refugee, an internally displaced person, a migrant, an economic refugee. There are a huge number of them now, and now, depending on what you are called, these are the rights and opportunities you get in society. There will be absolutely no such thing in the creative society. You remain human. You have human status, no matter where you are, no matter what life circumstances you find yourself in. You always have the status, and you always will have it. What does this status provide? This status provides all the vital needs of a human, and most importantly, the preservation of a human's life. The most important thing to understand is that the status of human preserves human life and health and gives him all the rights and benefits which are a priori and by default necessary for a human. But the creative society is not limited to this. Let's consider what it gives in practice. If we say that the life of each person is valuable and it is declared in the creative society, then we will solve the problem of displacement of people already at the stage of threat to the life and health of these people. That is, when we understand that these people may be endangered because of some cataclysms or something else, then at this stage people are moved to another place where they can be normally assimilated, where they are given all the same rights as those people who are in this place. So, what should we do next with these people? That is, we have moved these people. How are we going to solve the problem of refugees? We give them all the same rights that people who live in this country have. But there is still the problem of assimilation. And here at the forum, a wonderful technology from XP Energy was announced.
Многоцелевой комплекс «Восход».
It is called Multi-Purpose Complex Восход. What is this development? It's a global aggregator of all the available data, which accumulates all the data on people, on the economy, on all the other systems that are in one country and in a whole group of countries. And this system allows refugees, let's say, people who have moved into the territory, first of all, to collect all the data. What these people do, who they are, men, women, children, what can they do, and so on. And then teach these people new skills and introduce them into the economy so that they become productive members of society.
Но как это возможно? То есть,
Provide them with jobs, provide them with housing, and so on. But how is this possible? That is, what else needs to be done so that the refugee problem is simply solved completely? That is, so the people who have moved to a new country, they don't feel disadvantaged, they don't feel like they're out of place, that is, in a foreign place. In this case, there is a contract between the host country and the human who has been relocated.
Этот договор гласит, то есть он с собой заключает то, что принимающая сторона,
This contract states that the host country is obliged to provide all the benefits and conditions for this human to live decently and comfortably. But the human who comes here is also obliged to do everything possible to integrate into this country. This includes learning the language and learning the culture and traditions and learning the legislation of this region and this country.
Что он обязуется выполнять эти законы и чтить эти законы.
And what is more, that he undertakes to fulfill and honor these laws. And it's very important. It's a step forward on both sides. Can you imagine how great it is when two sides meet? They always come to an agreement and find a common way out. And then you get a situation where both sides win.
Разве это не здорово, когда
win-win? And isn't it great when you realize that no matter where you go, you will always be provided for everything. You will always be welcome. But wouldn't the person in such a situation want to go out on his own and learn the culture and so on? Moreover, this human, with his unique knowledge of his country, can bring interest and new knowledge that is little understood in that country.
Опять же, это очень здорово, поэтому
Again, that's very cool. I hope a lot of people can hear us now and that they will get acquainted with this project and watch the forum in order to understand more what we are getting when we support the creative society and put it into practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Irina. And your words remind me on the speech Leslie, where he said that if we do not meet each other halfway and do not unite, we will not survive. If we do not build the creative society, we will not survive. And thank you so much for bringing up this amazing technology from XP Energy. I truly hope that we as a society, as a humanity, will be able to implement it as soon as possible, because this technology will help us not only with the problem of refugee, it will help us with the climate, with the ecology, economic, and many, many more. Thank you so much for emphasizing that. And now I would like to ask the question, Michael. But before this question, I invite you to watch the video about hunger. As you all know that agricultural productivity is negatively impacted by climate change, and we are all at risk of facing an enormous hunger. But what we do, knowing that? Unfortunately, almost nothing. We are not utilizing the latest technologies to grow food globally. We were not investing in a technology that help us to produce more of food in the region already, where we already facing the negative impact of climate. And let's watch the video that will show that situation in our world.
(2021) Haiti. Due to ongoing natural disasters, people were pushed to the brink of survival. An acute hunger gripped the whole country. When all animals and everything around, even the leaves on the trees, had been eaten, people began to eat sand and clay, trying to trick their stomachs. 2022, Yemen. The armed conflict that has been raging in the country for 8 years has led to a serious food crisis. As a result, 5.7 million people are experiencing acute hunger. 2.2 million of them are children. Hunger, the new reality. The modern world is a theater of the absurd. While on one side of the planet people die of hunger by the thousands every day, on the other side of the planet, more than 2.5 million tons of food are simply thrown away every day before it even reaches shop shelves. If we distributed this food to those who are undernourished, every needy person would get 3.5 kilograms of food a day. We still can afford to buy food and throw it away untouched, but that will change soon. During the pandemic period from 2020 to 2022, the prices of basic foodstuffs have increased by 45%. At the same time, the level of poverty around the world has also increased, even in developed countries such as the US and Europe. Many people are already experiencing it. According to the US Department of Agriculture, more than 38 million people, including 12 million children, are food insecure in the United States. In Switzerland, 722,000 people were already below the poverty line in 2020. Heat or food, electricity or dinner, rent or food, which would you choose? In affluent countries, millions of people who face hunger make these difficult decisions every day. But this is just the beginning. The year 2022 brings new challenges for humanity. And now, even those organizations that were supposed to protect us from hunger and poverty claim that today the world is on the brink of a food catastrophe. In the modern consumerist format of our society, wars, pandemics, and economic crises are just another excuse to make money off us. It is a very profitable business which brings huge profits to a few, while the remaining 99% are hurtling towards the abyss of impoverishment. It is therefore naive to hope that anyone other than ourselves is really interested in seeing the situation improve. The events of 2022 have shown how much we all depend on each other. The consequences of one country's problems are sweeping the world. While we are fighting each other, imposing sanctions and food embargoes, the number of hungry people around the world is skyrocketing. Meanwhile, our planet is approaching ecological collapse. Pollution and drying up of water sources, erosion and soil degradation have made more and more land unsuitable for growing food. Extreme temperature fluctuations and shifting seasons have also contributed to that, sharp frosts, heavy rains, or prolonged droughts lead to crop failures in entire regions. Meanwhile, it is estimated that by 2050, the world will need 50% more food to feed an expected population of 9 billion people. How will we be able to feed so many people under these difficult conditions? But these are only harbingers and the initial stage of climate change. Cataclysms are increasingly causing famine. Flash floods, hurricanes, and volcanic eruptions rapidly following each other not only make the soil unusable, it becomes impossible to live in these areas.
Now we are so desperate for food, water, and medicine. Even money won't help us, as there is absolutely nothing to buy on the island because everything is destroyed. Many of our fishing boats are badly damaged, and some people have tried to repair them to use for fishing. Now the only thing we drink is rainwater, and so many people are getting sick and suffering from dehydration.
Our world, which seems familiar and stable to us, fails in any difficult situation. We live in an illusion of security and close our eyes to what is happening in the distance. But we cannot escape inevitable climate change. A wave of cataclysms is inexorably rolling towards all countries and regions of the planet. In the years to come, every one of us will face famine, and the likes of Haiti, Yemen, and the Philippines will spread across the planet. This is the future that awaits us if we don't change anything. We can sit around and wait for someone to solve these problems, relying on international organizations, governments, and the powers that be. But when hunger comes to our home, no one will care about us. Everyone will be concerned only with their own survival. This is exactly the root of our consumerist format. We are all divided, and everyone is for himself. And such an attitude towards each other will be our suicide in hard times. But everyone who has been through difficult situations knows that help and support come from ordinary people. It is possible to solve a seemingly unsolvable problem together. And in such situations, everyone understands how important simple human relations are, as well as the life of each person around you. We are so interconnected today that it is impossible to solve global problems alone. But together, being united, we can find that only way out for all. A way out that will allow all of us not only to survive in the future, but also to build a different world and a different society. A society where human life will be the main value, and where we will never allow hunger, poverty, or wars. That is the creative society.
As we just saw into this video, we can see that anger as a global issue is not just due to one reason. Either it's war affecting the population, basically us killing each other. Either it's climate disasters affecting an area where the exact same outcome is to expect. So it's a very complex issue with many, many different ramifications. But as we see ourselves as a modern society developing new technology, it's hard to believe that we don't have the tools and we don't have the technology to be able to solve a bit of this problem. and to be able to provide food to all of humanity. So I wanted to bring the discussion with Michael around actually those technology and to understand why do you think those technology are not utilized yet to be able to either redirect the food production a different way to everybody, or to maybe think differently about how to create food for everybody. Can you tell us more about these topics, Michael?
Hello, Jonathan. Thank you for the video. It's heartbreaking knowing that climate change does not only affect the livelihoods of people, but also affects the way the culture of living. And once you speak of culture, we can't exclude food. So it means like a good example right now in my country, 60% of our exports are basically agriculture. Considering the climatic conditions and the shortage of rainfall, it means 60% of our exports will decrease, and our GDP obviously will decrease by a certain amount. Knowing that right now the population, the rapid population is increasing every day. And due to population increase, people actually they have needs, they have needs and demands. And so once the population has increased to an extent, it means that the struggle, the survival, it means directly that we have to use the survival of the fittest. So it means that people start up to fight for these natural resources that we have enough right now. People have to fight for food. People have to fight for basic needs, things that they're abundant, at the moment. And right now, as we speak, the abundance is shortly a lot of things that shortly food right now. We're speaking of Yemen, speaking of Madagascar, speaking of countries like the countries like Philippines due to the floods, all of the crops, all of the transportation issue of infrastructure. So even if we say that right now we need to transport food, or we need to, let's say, to move aid, it's still a challenge because of climatic change. Because the transport infrastructure itself, as we speak, the air transportation, no airplane will go to the Philippines to take the aid or help with food, because the fear of storms, storming. We have the tsunami itself. So in one way or the other, it becomes a challenge right now because of the current situation. When you speak of the war that's happening in Ukraine and the actions set by the Americans, it's directly affecting the whole world right now, as we speak, due to the petrol. Now the petrol, the prices of petrol, it's very expensive right now, so making it a bit of a challenge. See, so basically, having the climatic this advocacy and awareness to the world, it's actually a way that each and everyone will take responsibility of making sure at least it helps in tackling the issues of deforestation, which is actually growing, and also issue we can speak of natural resources like the wild animals or the wildlife. We have Serengeti, we have Tarangire in Tanzania, which is Manoj. But due to the climatic change, we have lost a lot of elephants. They've died. The giraffe in Botswana, the elephants too. Recently, in a study that you read, actually Botswana is one of the countries that have a lot of elephants. So if you can see the current statistic right now, we said like a lot of elephants have died due to drought. The water source that they used to drink from right now, they are no more. So what are we doing? What is Africa doing right now? What are the government doing to tackle such a situation? It's not only in Africa, it's not only in Ukraine, it's not only in Yemen, but this thing is coming to us, it's coming for us. So we need to get prepared. One or the other, if we tend to keep the video right now, we need to share it out with our friends. We need to invite all our friends to this creative society, because everyone needs to live. We need to live, we need to eat. You need to feed your family. See? So every time when I look at that video and these images that I've shown in the video, they can never be forgotten. It keeps resting in our heads. See? Look, I was looking at a video of this child. He's eating sand. Sand. How can, because of hunger, you have to eat sand or you have to eat leaves? What kind of a world are we building? So there's a question that we have to pose to ourselves, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What am I doing to help this climate change? It's something that we need to ask ourselves. We don't need to be paid to do that. We don't need we need to volunteer for for the future of the world. So I'm really, really, really grateful to be part of this. And we just have to think on narrow that question broadly on ways that how can we engage schools, how can we engage universities, how can we engage political leaders? Right now we can speak of a lot of billionaires. What are they thinking? What they think right now is only they think about themselves. They think of how they can enlarge their properties, but what are they doing about climatic change? Recently, in the event of the climate action that happened I think it was in Scotland. I'm not sure. I think it's in Scotland. You can see that the participation of people. There's a video that was made of a dinosaur. The dinosaur was standing in front of the United Nations and he was speaking about if the world will not take care. See, if the world is not taken care of, then that's exactly what you're going to face, like in the video that you see. So we need to live. We need to create a society that everyone will feel safe in. Thank you very much for your time.
After watching this video and listening to you, it's like, to me, it's like really clear that problem with hunger is not happening because of the climate change or because of the war. It's really the problem with the hunger is an artificially created problem. And that's the consequence of the format in which we live in. So we have all the technology, we produce a lot of food and different materials in order to fix it right away, but it's not profitable, and that's why it's not interesting. So we do not invest our time and attention in this question, because unfortunately human life has no value in our society. That's why, why should we bother? And it's so heartbreaking to understand that how many children, how many people dying every day from hunger, and knowing how it is painful and what kind of death it is. It's a torture. That's the worst torture that you can imagine. And you're so right. So people, in order to trick their consciousness, to trick their stomach, was eating like soil and sand. It's just terrible. So we need to do everything possible in order to change this format as soon as possible. Unfortunately, that's very, very sad reality, that human life has no value in a consumer format. And that's why we also have such a problem as human trafficking, human slavery. And today with us, we have Manoj, who is specialist in this problem. Could you please tell us, Manoj, more about your experience in this, working in this field?
Thank you so much, and giving me opportunity about to speak about the human trafficking. So it's my, I think, fourth meeting in the Creative Society channels, and again I thank you each and everyone for developing this Creative Society, and through it your voice is reaching to the world. So I again repeat my word about the planet, where we are living. This planet is a wonderful gift from the God. And as a human being, we are responsible, each and every human being. I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about each and every human being is responsible to take care of this planet. And we are not bothered about it. We are bothered about self. We are bothered about loved one. So the Creative Society channel bringing together people who bother about the global crisis, the ongoing global crisis. That's why we are in this platform, and we are discussing about the ongoing crisis and the climate change. You know that this media is, I again repeat my word, in my last interview also I said, media is a very important, because through the media people get to know about the ongoing crisis, what is happening in the world, what we are facing, and why it is happening, who is the responsible for it. But you know, if we search and if we check some of the reason of this word, they don't know about, because the voice is not reaching to them that about the ongoing crisis. So I really thank you that Creative Society, through the Creative Society channel, our voices are reaching to people, and people are thinking about this ongoing crisis. They are discussing, and that's why that if you check that many people have taken initiative. So when the discussion was going on, that then I heard a word about we are now we have a habit, we are depending on someone, that government will come, international this organization will come, and they will sort out the ongoing issues, ongoing crisis. Why we are different? We have the capacity, we have to identify our capacity. How the Creative Society gathered many specialists, many experts. They are raising their voices. They have very serious concerns about the ongoing crisis. So I feel that humanity is dying. You know, we don't bother about the things. We just bother about our profits, and our interest is to take care profits. Anyhow, we just need profit, because we human being, and you know, as a human being we have the concern about the human trafficking. That's why I feel this, that's why I repeat my word, that humanity is dying. Human trafficking, who are the victims? You know, that who made them victims? Human being, no? Human being is the responsible for that also, for everything. I say that human being has the power, he can change the world. There are many examples that the people came forward and they changes their societies. So I'm contributing my little bit to save lives from the human trafficking. My most of this area is concern area is sex trafficking. You know, the people are this change their mind, and the devil spirit came inside the this human being heart. That's why people are purchasing sex, and they don't think that time when they are purchasing the sex, and the same girl, the same woman lives in his own house. So how can he buy the sex for just of his interest? And for it, he is ready to pay any amount. He just needs satisfaction, just needs entertainment. The human being doesn't bother about the girl and woman. If is going through the menstruation circle, then also the man buys the sex and he does the sex. So last week also I was collecting the information about a girl who was sold into a notorious red light area in Mumbai. So around 10 days I spent on that work, but I didn't identify that girl where he has been sold, because that red light area is spreaded in around half kilometers. So finally, yesterday I got to know about the that girl, that police finally rescued her. So I thank you that when we raise our voices, the people are getting to know, oh, this crime is happening, these things are going, these are the issues. And that's why they are coming forward to contribute and save the planet, save the humanity. If there are the bad people, then there are obviously good people are also there. That's why I will not say that we are everyone are very good, but we have in our heart, in our mind, and we bothered about the ongoing crisis. That's why we are here, and our voice is reaching to many, to the world through this Creative Society channel. So I thank you, and whatever I'm doing, it is my interest. That's why I feel satisfied when I save a life from human trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manoj, for your experience firsthand on human trafficking, which is a very difficult topic. And I think you raise it very well. The fact that such a traffic is actually simply done by people. Like there's nothing else to say that it's people, and we need to create such an environment where none of the people might even consider doing something like this, because we are all people and we all need to contribute to this future and not have anybody with those kind of thoughts or envy or desire, and also the platform to be able to get what they want in terms of human trafficking. So thank you very much for your efforts on the ground to be able to save those little girl, little boy, and all of the people that you've been securing, because it's very like this, that the other side, the other type of people that you mentioned, the one that are actually supporting each other and creating that future, hopefully they are there, hopefully you are there, and hopefully we are raising our voice against that atrocity that we can see in order to fix it. So yeah, thank you very much again for your comment.
Thank you so much, Manoj, for what you're doing. It's very important to help victims of human trafficking, and I really wish that we would have more people like you who are able to help those girls and boys to get out of this hell. And definitely we need to understand that in our society we have demand for this crime, and this is crime for sure, only because our society, the foundation of our society is violence, and everything built on it, because we even learn how to make profit on human suffering. And in order for us to change the world, we need to change the format where human life will be on the highest value. And I would like to thank all our speakers today to emphasizing this truth many times through our today's discussion. My sincere thanks goes to each of you. Your impact is, your contribution is really, really important for all of us. And dear viewers, I also would like to reach you if you have watched the International Forum and would like to participate in our next international discussion such as this one, please contact us at info@creativesociety.com. And I would like to say once again that the forum, Global Crisis We People Would Want to Live, is very important for all people, and the information about it should be heard by every single human. In order to build a better future, we must work all together, and sharing the forum is the good starting point for people to gain an understanding of the truth about the situation in which we are living right now. Thank you.